Every time you take a bite, whether it's a juicy burger, a handful of chips, or a sip of soda, you're probably not thinking about who made it possible. But behind almost every product on your plate, there's a powerful network of billionaires and corporations quietly shaping what the world eats. From the seeds in the ground to the logos on your grocery store shelves, a small handful of ultra-rich individuals effectively control the global food system, and by extension, your health, your choices, and your future. Let's start with a simple truth. Food isn't just about survival anymore. It's business, and not just any business. It's a trillion-dollar empire. The global food industry is dominated by just a few conglomerates that own hundreds of familiar brands. PepsiCo, Nestle, Unilever, Mars, Cargill, and Monsanto, now part of Bayer, these names control most of the food, snacks, and beverages that billions of people consume daily. And at the top of those corporations are billionaire families and investors who've turned food into one of the most profitable and powerful industries on Earth. Take Nestle, for example, the largest food company in the world. From coffee to baby formula, from bottled water to chocolate, Nestle's empire stretches into nearly every corner of your kitchen. Few people know that this company controls over 2,000 brands, including Nescafé, Kit Kat, Purina, and Perrier. Its influence is staggering, and it's been built under the watchful eyes of wealthy shareholders and institutional investors like BlackRock and Vanguard, which themselves manage trillions of dollars in assets. These massive investment firms own significant shares in almost every major food company, effectively connecting the world's biggest brands under one financial umbrella. That means when you buy a soda from PepsiCo or a snack from Kellogg's, a portion of your money ends up in the same hands, the hands of the global elite who invest in all of them. It's not a conspiracy theory, it's corporate reality. BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street collectively hold stakes in the largest food producers, retailers, and even agricultural suppliers. They don't compete the way we think. They coordinate through shared interests, ensuring that no matter what brand you choose, the profit flows upward to the same few billionaires. Let's dig deeper. In agriculture, where food begins, the control is just as concentrated. 4 companies, Cargill, Archer Daniels Midland, Bunge, and Louis Dreyfus, dominate the global grain trade. They control the supply of wheat, corn, soy, and rice, the building blocks of modern diets. Cargill, in particular, stands out as a family-owned behemoth. Worth over $60 billion, it's one of the largest private companies in the world, and the Cargill-Macmillan family is among the wealthiest in America. Yet most people have never heard of them. That's by design. Cargill operates quietly behind the scenes, influencing what farmers grow, how food is priced, and even what ends up in your supermarket aisles. Cargill's reach is astonishing. The company handles around a quarter of all U.S. grain exports, produces feed for livestock, trades in commodities like palm oil and cocoa, and even supplies ingredients to brands you recognize, without its name ever appearing on the label. When food prices rise globally, Cargill often profits. In 2022, during the global food crisis, Cargill reported record earnings while millions struggled to afford basic meals. That's the power of owning the supply chain, and that's how billionaires maintain control. Then there's Monsanto, the agricultural giant now owned by Bayer. Monsanto revolutionized farming with genetically modified crops and pesticides like Roundup, but it also created dependency. Farmers across the globe rely on Monsanto's genetically modified seeds, which are patented and cannot be replanted season after season. That means farmers must buy new seeds every year, often at inflated prices. Over time, this system has handed enormous leverage to corporations and the billionaires behind them while stripping farmers of autonomy. In this ecosystem of control, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation also plays a major role. Gates, one of the world's wealthiest men, has heavily invested in agricultural innovation, owning large stakes in companies that develop lab-grown meat, seed technology, and digital farming tools. He's also the largest private owner of farmland in the United States, quietly acquiring over 270,000 acres. His stated goal is to improve sustainability and food security. But critics argue that consolidating farmland ownership under billionaires risks turning agriculture into another monopolized sector. When one man owns so much of the land that feeds a nation, it's hard not to question who truly benefits. And Gates isn't alone. Billionaires around the world are buying up farmland at an unprecedented rate, from Jeff Bezos to Ted Turner. Land is the ultimate asset. They're not making more of it, and it provides both profit and power. Owning farmland means controlling production, supply, and even water rights. And in a world where climate change threatens food availability, that control becomes even more valuable and potentially dangerous. The influence of billionaires over food isn't limited to production. They also dominate distribution and marketing. Amazon's acquisition of Whole Foods gave Jeff Bezos a powerful foothold in the grocery industry. With the data and delivery infrastructure Amazon already controls, Bezos effectively has insight into what millions of people buy and eat, and how those habits can be influenced. Walmart, another retail titan, similarly dictates what farmers grow and how suppliers operate, squeezing small producers and shaping entire markets through its buying power. Even the health food and plant-based movements, often seen as alternatives to big industry, have billionaire fingerprints all over them. Beyond Meat and Impossible Foods, for instance, are backed by investors like Bill Gates and corporate giants like Tyson Foods. Coca-Cola and PepsiCo have acquired or launched healthy drink brands to capture the wellness market. What looks like consumer-driven change is often billionaire-driven adaptation. When trends shift, they shift with them, ensuring that no matter what you eat, they profit. Now let's look at the financial web tying it all together. Investment funds like BlackRock and Vanguard own significant shares in almost every major food company, from McDonald's to Starbucks, from Coca-Cola to Tyson. They also own parts of the companies that make the packaging, the pesticides, and even the shipping logistics. This interconnection creates a near invisible monopoly. You think you're choosing between brands, but you're really choosing between subsidiaries of the same financial giants. The result? Billionaires don't just control food, they control perception. Through marketing, lobbying, and philanthropy, they influence what's considered healthy, sustainable, or ethical. For example, when processed foods came under fire for obesity and health issues, major corporations shifted focus to low-fat or sugar-free products, often replacing sugar with chemicals and preservatives that were just as harmful. When consumers wanted organic options, conglomerates bought up the smaller organic brands and maintained control under new labels. It's a cycle of manipulation disguised as choice. Even food policy and regulation are shaped by these interests. Billionaires and corporations spend millions lobbying governments to pass favorable laws, from farm subsidies to labeling standards. The result is a system where profits come first and transparency comes last. The companies that push ultra-processed foods are often the same ones funding nutritional studies or sponsoring health conferences. They shape the science, the narrative, and the policy, all while claiming to feed the world. But the truth is, this kind of control comes at a cost. The rise of ultra-processed, chemically altered food has coincided with a surge in obesity, diabetes, and other lifestyle diseases. The modern food system prioritizes profit over nutrition. The cheapest ingredients are often the least healthy, and the most convenient foods are engineered to be addictive. The rich don't eat what they sell. While the billionaires who control food invest in organic farms and private chefs, the average consumer is left with products that harm health while boosting corporate margins. So what can be done? Awareness is the first step. Understanding who controls the food you eat empowers you to make more conscious choices. Buying locally, supporting small farmers, and reading labels can reduce your dependence on global conglomerates. You can't completely escape the system, but you can resist feeding it blindly. In the end, this isn't just about billionaires making money, it's about control. Control over what we eat, how we live, and what choices we think we have. The question isn't just who feeds you, it's who profits from feeding you. And as long as the same few billionaires own the land, the brands, and the supply chains, true food freedom will remain an illusion. If this video opened your eyes, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because in the next episode, we'll uncover how these same billionaires are investing in lab-grown meat, AI agriculture, and synthetic foods that could change what we eat forever. The future of food is already being written, and it's time you knew who's holding the pen.